Hi, I'm Roberta Williams. I've had a long and very rewarding career designing many adventure games since the year 1980 with my first game, Mystery House. I'm excited to lead you on a journey to explore the game that started it all, Colossal Cave Adventure. It's a vast, intricate game that rewards careful exploration and strategy and really tickles your brain. In fact, it's the game that made me fall in love with game design and led me to my amazing career. In honor of Colossal Cave Adventure's place in gaming history, Ken and I just came out with a brand new version of the old game sporting immersive 3D graphics, character animation, and sound design. Let's dive into a quick history of Colossal Cave Adventure. It all started in 1972 when Patricia Crowther, a young computer programmer and mother of 2 daughters, and her husband Will, also a computer programmer, were part of a team exploring the large cave system in Kentucky called Mammoth Cave. They were both avid spelunkers, and Patricia's role was to map the cave, which she dutifully did in her muddy notebooks. Each trek underground brought the team closer to their ultimate goal, discovering a suspected link between the Mammoth Cave system and the neighboring Flint Ridge Cave system. After hours of exploration deep within Mammoth Cave, the team reached a tiny crevice called the Tight Spot. Only one of the cavers was petite enough to even attempt to squeeze through the tight crack, and that was Patricia.
It was a crazy place to even think that you could get your body into. And if you just casually looked down into the hole and saw that crack, you would say no one could possibly fit in there.
She soon realized that she had emerged within Flint Ridge Cave. Now, a small woman squeezing through the tight spot may not sound like much, but this connection had been theorized for ages. This one simple act has been viewed as the speleological equivalent of conquering Mount Everest for the very first time. They finally had proof that the 2 caves were part of one enormous 340-mile-long cave system. The Crowthers began to computerize the map data they had collected by entering it into a teletype terminal in their living room that connected to a PDP-1 mainframe computer at Will's workplace, which was Bolt, Beranek, and Newman. Incidentally, Will's work at BBN, now known as Raytheon BBN, ended up being much more influential than his creation of Colossal Cave Adventure. At BBN, he was instrumental in creating the ARPANET, a packet switching network that changed the face of computing and eventually grew into our modern-day internet. In fact, Will, with a partner, actually wrote the code that switched the packets. Sadly, in 1976, Patricia and Will Crowther separated and divorced. But that unfortunate event for them turned out to be fortuitous for the computer game industry. After they separated, Will found it awkward to go caving without Patricia. Instead, he distracted himself by participating in Dungeons & Dragons campaigns and coding late into the night, surrounded by the intricate maps of Mammoth Cave that they had created together. He soon began coding a text-based game to play with his 2 daughters when they came to visit. It was a fantasy exploration of a magical cave, inspired in part by those many Dungeons & Dragons sessions, faithfully detailing the bed quilt sections of Mammoth Cave that he had explored with Patricia. 700 lines of Fortran code later, his Colossal Cave Adventure was complete, he thought. After finishing the game, Will saved a compiled version on his BBN work computer and then left for a month-long vacation. Upon returning, he realized that Colossal Cave had been discovered by people across the ARPANET. It was a phenomenon. From there, it rapidly spread through computer science labs across the country, stopping work for weeks at a time. The following year, Don Woods, an avid fan of the game, added final touches, including humorous prose, more fantasy elements, additional puzzles, but most importantly, a points-based scoring system. In 1979, Microsoft released their own version of the game, and in 1980, Apple did the same, hooking new players across the globe. It was around that time that I first encountered Colossal Cave Adventure. It was just after Christmas of 1979 when my husband Ken brought home a teletype machine to access the IBM 360 mainframe computer at his work. I started playing Colossal Cave on it and was instantly hooked. Not long afterward, we purchased a new Apple II computer and I switched over to playing Apple's version of Colossal Cave Adventure. I finished it with full points, 350. I was thrilled. That's when I realized that this text-based adventure game had completely changed my life. It kick-started my own career as I went on to design the very first graphic adventure game, which I called Mystery House. Ken programmed it, and it helped to start our own company, Sierra Online. From its start as a simple text-based game to our latest revival, Colossal Cave's impact on the gaming industry is immeasurable. It not only paved the way for modern adventure games, it's still incredibly fun and challenging to play. I hope you'll try our tribute to this historic, phenomenal game and experience the magic for yourself. If you enjoy it, please give us an honest review. We hope others will enjoy the adventure as well. Thank you.
Colossal Cave, reimagined by Roberta Williams. The only way out is in. Buy now wherever games are sold.